Hello, everyone, and welcome in. I hope you're all doing well. I know it has been quite a while since we got to do our story night, and even then, the last time, it felt a little bit rushed and short. So, we are going to be revisiting the house at Pooh Corner. I know I also figured out tonight, as I was trying to get everything set up for going live, unfortunately, the video did not stream to YouTube last time. Whoops. So that's my bad. So we're going to go back and revisit the last chapter that I read. And hopefully this will go up on both YouTube and Twitch this time. Making sure that everything is where it needs to be. Hello, As. Bonjour. Welcome in. I hope you're doing well here. Oh, thank you for the hydrates. Hydration complete. Lovely to have you here with us. Let's get you shouted out on the Twitch side. If you're not already familiar with Old As Gaming, he is a very charming fellow, got those big dad vibes, and just really enjoyable to watch. Mostly, I believe, does like horror type games, so do be aware they're a little on the scarier side, but you've got Az holding your hand there through them. You'll be fine. Hello, Ghosty. Welcome in. You grew up on the song Return to Pooh Corner? Ah, yeah. That was Kenny Loggins, wasn't it? I want to say that was his old album there, but yeah, that was also one that I've been kind of humming to myself behind the scenes. So hello, Ghosty. Bonjour. Welcome in. Old As Gaming is playing Dad Space right now. Well, it's very fitting, as you've got just the right personality, the right temperament, the right everything for being a dad to somebody in space. So, good call. I approve. Yeah, so welcome in. I hope you're all having a wonderful time, getting ready to strap in, be cozy, because we have more Pooh and Tigger. Gotta protect the bot daughter. Oh, absolutely. You've got to protect all the daughters and the sons. Like, kiddos need some protection. And I gotta protect the bot daughter in your game. Absolutely. Hello, Road. Welcome in. You finished class a bit ago and hope I'm doing well. I am doing fantastically relative to the last couple of months. It's lovely to see you. Let me see if the cooldown has finished for shoutouts so I can get a shout out to Road to Dusk. It needs me to wait another 8 seconds? Okay, I can live with 8 seconds. That's not a super hard ask. But no, Road, welcome in. So if you're not already familiar with Road to Dusk, he is the Road to Dusk. You can call him Road, Dusk, anything that you would call a friend. He is a dream usher, which means he deals with sleep dreams and the imagination so we can all be better versions of ourselves. He is also my main artist, the one who helped design my character that you see before you here. It is lovely to see you, Road. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining. Road's community is 18 plus, but it deals a lot with autism, ADHD, as well as Kingdom Hearts, and just generally being a fantastic artist. So it's really lovely to see you here, Road. Thank you for joining in. You've truly learned how complicated English question making is. There are so many formulas for writing questions. Yeah, that's absolutely a perk of being an ESL teacher. And for the redeem, hi, bonjour, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Oh, glad to have you here with us, buddy. So yeah, I hope you had a good class that finished a little bit ago. And yeah, hope you're going to enjoy having some Winnie the Pooh time here. As that is the premise of what we're doing here tonight is the house at Pooh Corner. I know last time I got cut off a little ways into it, so we are going to go back and redo chapter 4. Brian, Chaos, welcome in. Thank you for being here as a moderator. It's always really good to see you. Are you on mobile, or are you able to do shoutouts here tonight, Brian? Just so that I don't step on your toes. But yeah, no, it's so we are going to be going back and revisiting the chapter about Tiggers not climbing trees. You're on mobile? Okay, I'll make sure to keep taking care of the shoutouts then. Let's see, that is a lot of letters that Rode has just put into the chat. QW, ASVO, ASVO, QWVO, and QWASV, QWQQW. So QW is a question word or interrogative pronouns. Oh, this is a formula for how people ask questions in English. Got it. Toes? What are those? Toes are the little stubby things on the end of your foot. Why do you ask about toes, Brian? Are you okay? Do we need to worry about your toes? Do you feel something from your head to your toes? Are you attempting to toe the line? Where do your toes come from here, Brian? Oh, crabs don't have toes? Alright, fair enough, Brian. Well, either way. Glad you're having a good time, and it's good to see you here. Alright, so, yes, those are the... My head is now very hung up on trying to examine all of the different ways to ask questions that Rode has just put into my chat, and I'm not certain that's the direction we're gonna go for tonight, but doggone it if it isn't a particularly attractive idea. I think, however, we are going to switch over and start reading Chapter 4, in which it is shown that Tiggers don't climb trees. Sorry, not sorry, says Rode. Well, fine. I guess I'm not sorry in return, Rode. But I hope you're enjoying all the same. Brian just noticed that not most of their characters don't have toes. You know? I think most of my characters do have toes, and I wonder why that is. Am I, like, biased toward toes? And they all have all of their toes. Perhaps I need to start including more varied body types that include toes and, you know, different numbers. It's an interesting idea. Could be a fun way to add a character trait. I'll have to think about it. One day, when Pooh was thinking, he thought he would go and see Eeyore because he hadn't seen him since yesterday. And as he walked through the heather, singing to himself, he suddenly remembered that he hadn't seen Owl since the day before yesterday, so he thought that he would just look in at the 100-acre wood on the way and see if Owl was at home. Well, he went on singing until he came to the part of the stream where the stepping stones were, and when he was in the middle of the third stone, he began to wonder how Kanga and Roo and Tigger were getting on, because they all lived together in a different part of the forest. And he thought, if I haven't seen Roo for a long time, and if I don't see him today, it will be a still longer time. So he sat down on the stone in the middle of the stream and sang another verse of his song, while he wondered what to do. Most of Brian's characters are equine? Oh, okay. So good to know you're putting the horse out in front of whatever you might be doing with them, because they are the horse. That's a perfectly reasonable explanation. The other verse of the song was like the... Oh! Hello, Naruto. You're coming to say hi before bed. Well, thank you very much for saying hi. It's good to see you. I hope you have a wonderful bedtime, lovely dreams, and I hope you really enjoy getting the rest. You deserve it. The other verse of the song was like this. I could spend a happy morning seeing Roo. I could spend a happy morning being Pooh. For it doesn't seem to matter if I don't get any fatter, and I don't get any fatter what I do. The sun was so delightfully warm, and the stone, which had been sitting in it for a long time, was so warm too, that Pooh had almost decided to go on being Pooh in the middle of the stream for the rest of the morning, when he remembered Rabbit. Rabbit, said Pooh to himself. I like talking to Rabbit. He talks about sensible things. He doesn't use long, difficult words like owl. He uses short, easy words like, what about lunch? And help yourself, Pooh. I suppose, really, I ought to go and see Rabbit. Which made him think of another verse. Oh, I like his way of talking, yes I do. It's just the nicest way of talking just for two. And to help yourself with Rabbit, though it may become a habit, is a pleasant sort of habit for Pooh. So when he had sung this, he got up off his stone, walked back across the stream, and set off for Rabbit's house. But he hadn't got far before he began to say to himself, yes, but suppose Rabbit is out? Or suppose I get stuck in his front door again, coming out as I once did when his front door wasn't big enough? Because I know I'm not getting fatter, but his front door may be getting thinner. So wouldn't it be better if... And all this time he was saying things like this, he was going more and more westerly, without thinking, until suddenly he found himself at his own front door again, and it was 11 o'clock, which was time for a little something. Half an hour later, he was doing what he had always really meant to do. He was stumping off to Piglet's house, and as he walked, he wiped his mouth with the back of his paw and sang rather a fluffy song through the fur. It went something like this. I could spend a happy morning seeing Piglet, and I couldn't spend a happy morning not seeing Piglet. And it doesn't seem to matter if I don't see Owlie or any of the others, and if I'm going to see Owlie or any of the others or Christopher Robin. Written down like this, it doesn't seem a very good song, but coming through Pale Fawn Fluff at almost 11:30 on a very sunny morning, it seemed to Pooh to be one of the best songs he had ever sung. So he went on singing it. Piglet was busy digging a small hole in the ground outside his house. "Hello, Piglet," said Pooh.
Hello, Pooh,
said Piglet, giving a jump of surprise.
I knew it was you.
So did I, said Pooh. What are you doing?
I'm planting a haycorn, Pooh, so that it can grow up into an oak tree and have lots of haycorns just outside the front door instead of having to walk miles and miles. Do you see, Pooh?
But supposing it doesn't?
It will, because Christopher Robin says it will, so that's why I'm planting it.
Well, if I plant a honeycomb outside my house, then it will grow up into a beehive. Piglet wasn't quite sure about this. Or a piece of honeycomb, said Pooh, so as not to waste too much. Only then I might only get a piece of a beehive, and it might be the wrong piece, where the bees were buzzing and not honeying. Oh, bother. Piglet agreed that this would be rather bothering.
Besides, Pooh, it's a very difficult thing, planting, unless you know how to do it,
he said, and he put the acorn in the hole he had made and covered it up with earth and jumped on it.
Hup, 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 hup.
Pooh would be a horrible beekeeper. I have to agree, he really would do terribly. You're doing Minecraft and going to take over a city on your own? Well, I hope the city accepts you readily and that you become the mayor in spectacular fashion, Brian. I do know, said Pooh, because Christopher Robin gave me a nasturtium seed, and I planted it, and I'm going to have nasturtiums all over the front door.
I thought they were called nasturtiums,
said Piglet timidly as he went on jumping. No, not these. These are called nasturtiums. When Piglet had finished jumping, he wiped his paws on his front and said,
what shall we do now?
And Pooh said, Let's go and see Kanga and Roo and Tigger. And Piglet said,
Yes, let's.
Because he was still a little anxious about Tigger, who was a very bouncy animal, with a way of saying, How do you do? Which always left your ears full of sand, even after Kanga had said, Gently, Tigger dear, and helped you up again. So they set off for Kanga's house. Oh, looks like we have a bot to eat. So I'm just going to make sure that gets eaten properly there. Alrighty. And hopefully that also blocked the bot account that came from. If there are any moderators around who can make sure that did what it was supposed to, I will be very grateful. Now it happened that Kanga had felt rather motherly that morning, and wanting to count things, like Rue's vests, how many pieces of soap there were left, and the 2 clean spots on Tigger's feeder. So she had sent them out with a pack of watercress sandwiches for Rue and a pack of extract of malt sandwiches for Tigger, to have a nice long morning in the forest, not getting into mischief. And off they had gone. And as they went, Tigger told Rue, who wanted to know, all about the things that Tiggers could do. "Can they fly?" asked Rue. "Yes," said Tigger. "They're very good flyers. Tiggers are stormy good flyers." "Oh," said Rue. "Can they fly as well as Owl?" "Yes, only they don't want to." "Why don't they want to?" "Well, they just don't like it somehow." "Hello, Necromancer. Welcome in. You're here to learn about Tiggers? Well, I hope you have a wonderful time learning about Tiggers. It's good to have you." "Oh, neat. They can fly?" According to Tigger, they can. Let's get Necromancer shouted out here. I haven't gotten a chance to see most of Necromancer's streams, but I do know that Necromancer was recently playing a game, I believe it was Lunar Silver Star Story 2? At the very least, it was some sort of very nice-looking RPG that I just haven't had a chance to join in on. He can fly! He can fly! He can fly! Love it, Brian. Absolutely. Lunar 2, Eternal Blue is apparently what Necromancer has been playing. So if you get a chance, definitely go check in on Necromancer. They are a wonderful time. And the story seems like it's the kind of thing that would be really fun. A Gryan reference? Gryan? What is Gryan? The sequel to Necromancer's favorite JRPG, and Neko hasn't ever beaten it. Ooh, interesting. Rue couldn't understand this because he thought it would be lovely to be able to fly, but Tigger said it was difficult to explain to anybody who wasn't a Tigger himself. Grian? I don't know what a Grian is, but I hope the reference was suitable. Well, can they jump as far as Kangas? Yes, when they want to. I love jumping. Let's see who can jump farthest, you or me. I can. But we mustn't stop now or we shall be late. Late for what? For whatever we want to be in time for, said Tigger, hurrying on. Oh, Grian is a Minecraft YouTuber. Okay, I get you now. In a little while they came to the 6 pine trees. I can swim, said Rue. I fell into the river and I swam. Can Tigger swim? Of course they can. Tiggers can do everything. Can they climb trees better than Pooh? Asked Rue, stopping under the tallest pine tree and looking up at it. Climbing trees is what they do best, said Tigger. Much better than Pooh's. Could they climb this one? They're always climbing trees like that, said Tigger. Up and down all day. Oh, Tigger, are they really? I'll show you, said Tigger bravely. And you can sit on my back and watch me. For all of the things which he had said Tiggers could do, the only one he felt really certain about suddenly was climbing trees. Oh, Tigger, oh, Tigger, oh, Tigger, squeaked Rue excitedly. So he sat on Tigger's back, and up they went. And for the first 10 feet, Tigger said happily to himself, Up we go. And for the next 10 feet, he said, I was sad Tiggers could climb trees. And for the next 10 feet, he said, Not that it's easy, mind you. And for the next 10 feet, he said, Of course, there's the coming down, too, backwards. And then he said, Which will be difficult. Unless one fell, when it would be easy. And at the word easy, the branch he was standing on broke suddenly, and he just managed to clutch at the one above him as he felt himself going, and then slowly he got his chin over it, and then one back paw, and then the other, until at last he was sitting on it, breathing very quickly, and wishing that he had gone in for swimming instead. Oh neat, Tiggers can do cold fusion, that counts as anything, right? Says Necromancer. I don't know that Tiggers would do cold fusion. That doesn't sound like something they would want to do, but I'm certain they could if they wanted. Roo climbed off and sat down next to him. Oh, Tigger, are we at the top? No. Are we going to the top? No. Oh, said Roo rather sadly, and he went on hopefully. That was a lovely bit just now when you pretended we were going to fall bumped at the bottom and we didn't. Will you do that again? No, said Tigger. Roo was silent for a little while, and then he said, Shall we eat our sandwiches, Tigger? And Tigger said, Yes, where are they? And Roo said, At the bottom of the tree. And Tigger said, I don't think we better eat them just yet. So they didn't. By and by, Pooh and Piglet came along. Pooh was telling Piglet in a singing voice that it didn't seem to matter if he didn't get any fatter, and he didn't think he was getting any fatter, what he did. And Piglet was wondering how long it would be before his haycorn came up.
Look, Pooh,
said Piglet suddenly.
There's something in one of the pine trees.
So there is, said Pooh, looking up wonderingly. There's an animal. Piglet took Pooh's arm in case Pooh was frightened.
Is it one of the fiercer animals?
He said, looking the other way. Pooh nodded. It's a jaguar, he said.
What do jaguars do?
Asked Piglet, hoping that they wouldn't. They hide in the branches of trees and drop on you as you go underneath. Christopher Robin told me about them.
Perhaps we hadn't go underneath, Pooh, in case he dropped and, hurt himself.
They don't hurt themselves. They're such very good droppers. Piglet still felt that to be underneath a very good dropper would be a mistake, and he was just going to hurry back for something which he had forgotten when the jaguar called out to them. Help! It called. Help! That's what jaguars always do, said Pooh, much interested. They call, help, help, and when you look up, they drop down on you.
I'm looking down,
cried Piglet loudly, so the jaguar wouldn't do exactly the wrong thing by accident. Something very excited next to the jaguar heard him and squeaked, Pooh and Piglet! Pooh and Piglet! And all of a sudden, Piglet felt that it was a much nicer day than he had thought it was. All warm and sunny. In case Pooh was frightened. Stuff like that is exactly why Necromancer loves these stories. Writing's clever, but simple enough for a kid to enjoy. Yeah, it's all about those motivations, and it's just those little pieces that everybody can understand.
Pooh,
he cried.
I believe it's Tigger and Roo.
So it is. I thought it was a jaguar and another jaguar. Hello, Roo, called Piglet. What are you doing? We can't get down. We can't get down. Isn't it fun? Pooh, isn't it fun? Tigger and I are living in a tree like Owl, and we're going to stay here forever and ever. I can see Piglet's house. Piglet, I can see your house from here. Are we high? Is Owl's house as high up as this?
How did you get up there, Roo?
Asked Piglet. Hunt Tigger's back, and Tiggers can't climb downwards because their tails get in the way, only upwards, and Tigger forgot about that when we started, and he's only just remembered. So we've got to stay here forever and ever unless we go higher. What do you say, Tigger? Oh, Tigger says if we go higher, we shan't be able to see Piglet's house so well, so we're going to stop here. Piglet, said Pooh solemnly when he had heard all this. What shall we do? And he began to eat Tigger's sandwiches.
Are they stuck?
asked Piglet anxiously. Pooh nodded.
Couldn't you climb up to them?
I might, Piglet. I might bring Roo down on my back, but I couldn't bring Tigger down, so we must think of something else. And in a thoughtful way, he began to eat Roo's sandwiches, too. Whether he would have thought of anything before he had finished the last sandwich, I don't know. But he had just got to the last but one when there was a crackling in the bracken, and Christopher Robin and Eeyore came strolling along together.
I shouldn't be surprised if it hailed a good deal tomorrow,
Eeyore was saying.
Blizzards and whatnot. Being fine today doesn't mean anything. It is no what's that word? Well, it has none of that. It's just a small piece of weather.
Brian needs to head out for sleep. Alright, Brian, get some good sleep. I hope you have a wonderful night. Have some amazing rest, and I hope you have a great day tomorrow. Really appreciate you being here with us. There's Pooh, said Christopher Robin, who didn't much mind what it did tomorrow, as long as he wasn't out in it. Hello, Pooh,
It's Christopher Robin. He'll know what to do,
said Piglet. They hurried up to him. Oh, Christopher Robin, began Pooh.
And Eeyore,
said Eeyore. Tigger and Roo are up right in the 6 pine trees, and they can't get down,
And I was just saying that if only Christopher Robin and Eeyore, that if only you were here, we could think of something to do.
Christopher Robin looked up at Tigger and Roo and tried to think of something.
I thought,
said Piglet earnestly,
that if Eeyore stood at the bottom of the tree, and if Pooh stood on Eeyore's back, and if I stood on Pooh's shoulders, and if Eeyore's back snapped suddenly, then we could all laugh. Ha ha. Amusing in a quiet way, but not really helpful. Well,
said Piglet meekly,
I thought, would it break your back?
Would it break your back, Eeyore? Asked Pooh, very much surprised.
That's what would be so interesting, Pooh. Not quite being sure till afterwards.
Oh, said Pooh, and they all began to think again. I've got an idea, cried Christopher Robin suddenly. Listen to this.
Listen to this, Piglet, and then you'll know what we're trying to do.
I'll take off my tunic, and we'll each hold a corner, and then Roo and Tigger can jump into it, and it will be all soft and bouncy for them, and they won't hurt themselves.
Getting Tigger down and not hurting anybody. Keep those 2 ideas in your head, Piglet, and you'll be all right.
But Piglet wasn't listening. He was so agog at the thought of seeing Christopher Robin's blue braces again. He had only seen them once before when he was much younger, and, being a little overexcited by them, he had to go to bed half an hour earlier than usual, and he had always wondered since if they were really as blue and as bracing as he thought them. So when Christopher Robin took his tunic off, and they were, he felt quite friendly to Eeyore again, and held the corner of his tunic next to him and smiled happily at him. And Eeyore whispered back,
I'm not saying there won't be an accident now, mind you. They're funny things, accidents. You never have them till you're having them.
When Roo understood what he had to do, he was wildly excited and cried out,
Tigger! Tigger! We're going to jump!
Tigger, Tigger, we're going to jump! Look at me jumping, Tigger! Like flying, my jumping will be... Tiggers do it? And he squeaked out, I'm coming, Christopher Robin! And he jumped straight to the middle of the tunic, and he was going so fast that he bounced up again almost as high as where he was before, and went on bouncing and saying, Ooh, for quite a long time. And then at last he stopped and said, Ooh, lovely! And they put him on the ground. Come on, Tigger, it's easy! But Tigger was holding on to the branch and saying to himself, It's all very well for jumping animals like kangas, but it's quite different for swimming animals like tiggers. And he thought of himself floating on his back down a river, or striking out from one island to another, and he felt that really was the life for a tigger. Come along, called Christopher Robin. You'll be all right. Just a moment, said Tigger nervously. Small piece of bark in my eye. And he moved slowly along his branch. Come on, it's easy, squeaked Roo. And suddenly Tigger found out how easy it was. Hi, Eeyore, I love you. You feel like that's what he'd heard they'd say? It's nice of you to say. I probably should go before you have too much of me and change your mind. Aww. No, people don't get too much of Eeyore. Ow! Tigger shouted as the tree flew past him. Look out! Cried Christopher Robin to the others. There was a crash and a tearing noise and a confused heap of everybody on the ground. Christopher Robin and Pooh and Piglet picked themselves up first, and then they picked up Tigger, and underneath everybody else was Eeyore. Oh, Eeyore, are you hurt? Cried Christopher Robin, and he felt rather anxiously, and dusted Eeyore up and helped him stand up again. Eeyore said nothing for a long time, and then he said,
Is Tigger there?
Tigger was there, feeling bouncy again already. Yes, Christopher Robin said. Tigger's here.
Oh, just thank him for me,
said Eeyore. Oh my goodness. What silly things they get into when you fall off of a tree. I've missed reading. This is a fun time. Chapter 5, in which Rabbit has a busy day, and we learn what Christopher Robin does in the mornings. It was going to be one of Rabbit's busy days. As soon as he woke up, he felt important, as if everything depended upon him. It was just the day for organizing something, or for writing a notice signed Rabbit, or for seeing what everyone else thought about it. It was a perfect morning for hurrying round to Pooh and saying, Very well then, I'll tell Piglet, and then going to Piglet and saying, Pooh thinks, but perhaps I'd better see Owl first. It was a captainish sort of day when everybody said, Yes, Rabbit, and No, Rabbit, and waited until he had told them. Tigger just, I said I could climb up a tree, not down. Yes, look, climbing up is the easy part, climbing down is the suddenly fun part. He came out of his house and sniffed the warm spring morning as he wondered what he would do. Kanga's house was the nearest, and at Kanga's house was Roo, who said, Yes, Rabbit, and No, Rabbit, almost better than anybody else in the forest. But there was another animal there nowadays, the strange and bouncy Tigger, and he was the sort of Tigger who was always in front when you were showing him the way anywhere, and was generally out of sight when you at last came to the place and said proudly, Here we are. No, not Kangas, said Rabbit thoughtfully to himself as he curled his whiskers in the sun, and to make quite sure he wasn't going there, he turned to the left and trotted off in the direction, which was the way to Christopher Robin's house. After all, said Rabbit to himself, Christopher Robin depends on me. He's fond of Pooh and Piglet and Eeyore, and so am I, but they haven't any brain. Not to notice. And he respects Owl because you can't help respecting anybody who can spell Tuesday, even if he doesn't spell it right. But spelling isn't everything. There are days when the spelling Tuesday simply doesn't count. and Kanga is too busy looking after Roo, and Roo is too young and Tiggers too bouncy to be any help, so there's really nobody but me when you come to look at it. I'll go and see if there's anything he wants doing, and then I'll just do it for him. It's just the day for doing things." Hello, Sheena. Welcome in. Necromancer, would you mind shouting out Shinanashi for me, please? Lovely to see you, lass. Hope you're having a good time. Tuesday. Yes, it's Tuesday, isn't it? You are respectable now? Absolutely. All the Tuesdays, regardless of how they're spelled. Oh, you loved this book as a kid, Sheena? Wonderful. I mostly had the movies when I was a kid. We didn't get into the books quite so much, although they were on the shelf. You're on mobile, sadly? Okay, then I will shout out Sheena myself. Let's get a shout out to Shinanashi. If you are not already familiar with her, she is a fiery lass with a wonderful personality, very straightforward, very frank, very 18 plus for her community, but she is also a magnificent artist. I am always in awe of the wonderful things that she puts out, and I really don't spend nearly enough time with her relative to how incredible she is. She also had a birthday recently, so if you want to give her a belated happy birthday, you might as well. This and Peter Rabbit. Yes, Peter Rabbit. Oh my goodness, that was one of my favorites growing up. Beatrix Potter really just made such an incredible story, and it feels so timeless. I love Peter Rabbit. It's good stuff. So, yes, strongly recommend the Peter Rabbits. I think we've even read Peter Rabbit on here once before, but it might bear doing again at some point. Someone, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Long time no see. Well, yes, I've been away for quite a while, but it's really good to have you back. I hope you're having a good time. Oh, you remember Peter Rabbit as a kid, Necromancer? Yes. Oh, your wee nephew's Peter, so you got him the books. Oh, wonderful. I can't imagine what it would be like to actually have the name Peter and be invested in little Peter Rabbit. But I suppose there are plenty of people who would. So, oh my goodness. Chubby Bunny Redeem. I don't think I have anything I can Chubby Bunny with here right now, though. Oh, sorry, you gotta do it. Oh boy. What could I Chubby Bunny with? Oh, it's fine. Yeah, I think I'm gonna reject your Chubby Bunny here. We'll just get you refunded. Please no mints. No, Necromancer. We're not making the same mistake we made last time. I'll make all new mistakes, don't you worry. But yeah, I think my failure to get the marshmallows this week is going to bleed into a sorry, no Chubby Bunny this time. Mints are so good though. They were delicious, and I used all of them for the last Chubby Bunny Redeem. Well, almost all of them. I think I had like 4 left, but yeah, so the Chubby Bunny Redeem is I put marshmallows or whatever else I have on hand into my mouth one at a time and say Chubby Bunny afterward. The game ends when I can no longer say Chubby Bunny, when I swallow, or when I have to spit it out. So, any of those things counts as the end of a Chubby Bunny run. But we are unfortunately not equipped for that tonight, so I am just going to refund that here, and we will continue on with the book. But, yeah. As thank you, I know where you're going with that. My goodness, my community sometimes. Rabbit trotted along happily, and by he crossed the stream and came to the place where his friends and relations lived. There seemed to be even more of them about than usual this morning, and having nodded to a hedgehog or two, with whom he was too busy to shake hands, and having said, good morning, importantly to some of the others, and, "Ah, there you are," kindly to the smaller ones, he waved a paw at them over his shoulder and was gone, leaving such an air of excitement and I don't know what behind him that several members of the beetle family, including Henry Rush, made their way at once to the 100-acre wood and began climbing the trees in the hope of getting to the top before it happened, or whatever it was, so that they might see it properly. It was perfect for this book. Ah, it really is. You're going to your crab cave, Az? Alright, well I hope you have a good time in your crab cave. Take care of yourself. It was really good seeing you. And if we get to join you in the crab cave, so much the better. Rabbit hurried on by the edge of the 100-acre wood, feeling more important every minute, and soon he came to the tree where Christopher Robin lived. You've been banished? You're not going anywhere? Oh, okay. I'm very confused about what's going on, Az, but that's alright. I'm certain it'll be fine. After all, you're here. He knocked at the door and called out once or twice, and when he walked back a little way and put his paw up to keep the sun out and called to the top of the tree, then turned all around and shouted, "Hello!" and "I say, it's Rabbit!" But nothing happened. Then he stopped and listened, and everything stopped and listened with him, and the forest was very alone and still and peaceful in the sunshine, until suddenly 100 miles above him a lark began to sing. "Bother, he's gone out," said Rabbit. "Like butter is just hard milk till we meet again?" Butter is the solids from dairy, isn't it? I'm very confused. And if you warm butter up, it's no longer solid, so it really shouldn't be hard milk. What on earth is Az talking about? I don't know. He went back to the green front door just to make sure, and he was turning away, feeling that this morning had got all spoiled, when he saw a piece of paper on the ground, and there was a pin in it, as if it had fallen off the door. "Ha!" said Rabbit, feeling quite happy again. "Another notice!" This is what it said. Az cast confusion, it's super effective. It really kind of is. Unless frozen. Frozen butter? Or frozen milk? Frozen milk is ice cream. In fact, I think frozen milk would be ice cream. That's the solid form, isn't it? That's a good point, Sheena. I do believe frozen milk is ice cream. There we go. My confusion is resolved. Any rate, this is what it said. "Gone out, back soon, busy, back soon. C.R. Ha! I must tell the others." And he hurried off importantly. The nearest house was Owl's, and to Owl's house in the 100-acre wood he made his way. He came to Owl's door, and he knocked, and he rang, and he rang, and he knocked, and at last Owl's head came out and said, "Go away, I'm thinking." "Oh, it's you," which was how he always began. "Owl," said Rabbit shortly, "you and I have brains, the others have fluff. If there's any thinking to be done in this forest, and when I say thinking, I mean thinking, you and I must do it." Necromancer's just remembering having to Google, "is wheat just long grass?" as he realized Parsons were saying they would probably make flour out of grass was likely super wrong. You kept it and Fowler corrected him. Oh my goodness, that sounds amazing. This just means I need to read more Raising the Last Monster Necromancer. And I'm already behind as it is. Oh, that sounds so cute though. "Yes, I was." "Read that." Owl took Christopher Robin's notice from Rabbit and looked at it nervously. He could spell his own name, W-O-L, and he could spell Tuesday, so you knew it wasn't Wednesday. And he could read quite comfortably when you weren't looking over his shoulder and saying, "Well," all the time. And he could... "Well," said Rabbit.
Yes,
said Owl, looking wise and thoughtful.
I see what you mean, undoubtedly.
"Well?"
Exactly. Precisely.
And he added after a little thought,
If you had not come to me, I should have come to you.
"Why?"
For that very reason,
said Owl, hoping that something helpful would happen soon. "Yesterday morning, I went to see Christopher Robin. He was out. Pinned on his door was a notice."
The same notice?
"A different one, but the meaning was the same. It's very odd."
Amazing,
said Owl, looking at the notice again and getting, just for a moment, a curious sort of feeling that something had happened to Christopher Robin's back.
What did you do?
"Nothing,"
The best thing,
said Owl wisely. "Well," said Rabbit again, as Owl knew he was going to.
Exactly,
said Owl. For a little while he couldn't think of anything more, and then, all of a sudden, he had an idea.
Tell me, Rabbit, the exact words of the first notice. This is very important. Everything depends on this. The exact words of the first notice.
"It was just the same as that one, really." Owl looked at him and wondered whether to push him off the tree, but feeling as he could always do it afterwards, he tried once more to find out what they were talking about.
The exact words, please,
he said, as if Rabbit hadn't spoken.
"It just said gone out, Baxon. Same as this, only this says busy Baxon, too."
Owl gave a great sigh of relief.
Ah, now we know where we are.
"Yes, but where's Christopher Robin? That's the point." Owl looked at the notice again. To one of his education, the reading of it was easy.
Gone out, Baxon, busy Baxon.
Just the sort of thing you'd expect to see on a notice.
It is quite clear what has happened, my dear Rabbit. Christopher Robin has gone out somewhere with Baxon. He and Baxon are busy together. Have you seen a Baxon about anywhere in the forest lately?
"I don't know. That's why I came to ask you. What are they like?"
Well, the spotted or herbaceous Baxon is just a...
At least, it's really more...
At least it's really more of a... Of course, it depends on the... Well, the fact is, I don't know what they are like,
said Owl frankly. "Thank you," said Rabbit, and he hurried off to see Pooh. Before he had gone very far, he heard a noise, so he stopped and listened. This was the noise.
"Oh, the butterflies are flying, now the winter days are dying, and the primroses are trying to be seen, and the turtle doves are cooing, and the woods are up and doing, for the violets are blooming in the green. Oh, the honeybees are gumming on their little wings and humming that the summer which is coming will be fun. And the cows are almost cooing, and the turtle doves are mooing, which is why a Pooh is pooing in the sun. For the spring is really springing, you can see a skylark singing, and the bluebells which are ringing can be heard, and the cuckoo isn't cooing, but he's clucking and he's oohing, and a Pooh is simply pooing like a bird.
"Hello, Pooh," said Rabbit.
"Hello, Rabbit,"
said Pooh dreamily. Owl is smart enough to admit he doesn't know things. Mostly. Sometimes. Look, if you're only not knowing things sometimes, then it makes sense that you would only admit to not knowing something sometimes. Did you make that song up?
Well, I sort of made it up. It isn't brain, he went on humbly, because you know why, Rabbit, but it comes to me sometimes.
Ah, said Rabbit, who never let things come to him, but always went and fetched them. Well, the point is, have you seen a spotted or herbaceous baxum in the forest at all?
No, no,
said Pooh.
I saw Tigger just now.
Now that's no good.
No, I thought it wasn't.
Have you seen Piglet?
Yes, I suppose that isn't any good either,
he asked meekly. Well, it depends on if he saw anything.
He saw me.
Rabbit sat down on the ground next to Pooh, and feeling much less important like that, stood up again. What it all comes to is this, he said. What does Christopher Robin do in the morning nowadays?
What sort of thing?
Well, can you tell me anything that you've seen him do in the morning these past few days?
Yes, we had breakfast together yesterday by the pine trees. I'd made up a little basket. Just a little fair-sized basket. An ordinary, piggish sort of basket full of...
If you ever want to see a cute crab, just not as cute as, look at the vampire crab, they come in colors. Ooh. How dare. Seeing Tigger and Piglet is always good? Yes, Necromancer, I agree with you. Yes, said Rabbit, but I mean later than that. Have you ever seen him between 11 and 12?
Well, at 11 o'clock, well, at 11 o'clock, you see, I generally get home about then, because I have 1 or 2 things to do. 11:15 then? Well,
past.
Yes, at past, or perhaps later, I might see him.
And now that he did think of it, he began to remember he hadn't seen Christopher Robin about so much lately. Not in the mornings. Afternoons, yes. Evenings, yes. Before breakfast, yes. Just after breakfast, yes. And then perhaps, see you again, Pooh. And off he'd go. That's just it. Where?
Perhaps he's looking for something?
What?
That's just what I was going to say.
And then Pooh added,
Perhaps he's looking for
a spotted or herbaceous baxen?
Yes, one of those, in case it isn't.
Rabbit looked at him severely. I don't think you're helping.
No, I do try, he added humbly.
Rabbit thanked Pooh for trying and said that he would now go and see Eeyore, and Pooh could walk with him if he liked. But Pooh, who felt another verse of his song coming on, said he would wait for Piglet. Goodbye, Rabbit. And so Rabbit went off. But as it happened, it was Rabbit who saw Piglet first. Piglet had got up early that morning to pick himself a bunch of violets, and when he had picked them and put them in a pot in the middle of his house, it suddenly came over him that nobody had ever picked Eeyore a bunch of violets. And the more he thought of this, the more he thought how sad it was to be an animal who had never had a bunch of violets picked for him. So he hurried out again, saying to himself, Eeyore.
Eeyore, violets.
And then,
Violets, Eeyore.
In case he forgot, because it was the sort of day. That sort of day, and he picked a large bunch and trotted along, smelling them and feeling very happy, until he came to the place where Eeyore was.
Oh, Eeyore,
began Piglet a little nervously because Eeyore was busy. Eeyore put out a paw and waved him away.
Tomorrow, or the next day.
Piglet came a little closer to see what it was. Eeyore had 3 sticks on the ground and was looking at them. 2 of the sticks were touching at one end, but not at the other, and the 3rd stick was laid across them. Piglet thought that perhaps it was a trap of some kind.
Oh, Eeyore, just
Is that little Piglet?
said Eeyore, still looking hard at his sticks.
Yes, Eeyore, and
Do you know what this is?
No.
It's an A.
Oh.
Not O. A.
Said Eeyore severely.
Can't you hear? Or do you think you have more education than Christopher Robin?
Yes. No.
Said Piglet very quickly, and he came closer still.
Christopher Robin said it was an A, and an A it is until somebody treads on me.
Eeyore added very sternly. Piglet jumped backward hurriedly and smelt at his violets.
Do you know what A means, little Piglet?
No, Eeyore, I don't.
It means learning. It means education. It means all the things that you and Pooh haven't got. That's what A means.
Oh. I mean, does it?
He explained quickly.
I'm telling you. People come and go in this forest and they say, it's only Eeyore, so it doesn't count. They walk to and fro saying, ha ha. But do they know anything about A? They don't. It's just 3 sticks to them. But to the educated, mark this, Piglet, to the educated, not meaning Poohs and Piglets, it's a great and glorious A. Not just something that anybody can come and breathe on.
Piglet stepped back nervously and looked around for help. You're not haunting the DMs of people? Oh, I see. Of course not, Az. Of course not. I'm sure you would never haunt the DMs of people. That's just not how you do. Well, I'm sure one direction or another, it all works out in the end. Wait till they learn about B. That's where the excitement is, says Necromancer. Indeed. Wilbo, hello, welcome in, welcome raiders. Let's get you shouted out here. If you're not already familiar with Wilbo Waffles, he is somebody who I have started to spend a little time with through the Last Stop Cafe. Really excited to see you dropping in here. Last I had seen of Wilbo, he was doing a Helldivers episode, doing his best to spit out facts while avoiding flesh golems from Super Earth, or avoiding them in the name of Super Earth. I'm not quite clear on how immediately threatened the Super Earth is, but either way, hello, welcome in. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the Raiders. What were you streaming and how did it go? Yes, hi. Good to have you here with us. For those not already familiar with me, my name is Celine Heidelman. I am primarily a storytime streamer, and tonight we are reading The House at Pooh Corner. We have just had Rabbit come from getting into a mildly hostile encounter with Pooh, who had been singing, in pursuit of figuring out what Christopher Robin does in the mornings now. You were doing the same thing tonight, holding off on more diverse content until after your VTuber model gets finished. Ooh, that sounds really cool. I'll be looking forward to seeing what you get for a live design. Tulikinukums? I'm not entirely certain I'm pronouncing that right. But welcome in, Raider. It's good to have you with us. Thank you for the first time chats. Hope you're having a good time with it. And so we have just interrupted Eeyore in the middle of telling Piglet how important an education is, because nobody ever listens to Eeyore, as Eeyore will readily tell you over and over again. Have I seen the final design yet? Oh, you posted it on Blue Sky. You know, I think I might have seen the design, and I'm pretty confident I gave it a like, but Like, I didn't say nearly enough about it. It's very cool. Eeyore is learning about A. Eeyore is opining about A. Yes, indeed. But yeah, I'll definitely have to go back and check your blue sky again, Wilbo, because your design is very cool. I believe it is a kit seraph, as you've described it. A kind of a combination of an angel and what sort of looks like a fox. I'm not entirely certain I've marked that correctly, but yeah, if you want to explain a little bit, I'd love to hear what kind of stuff inspired your design. If you have to raid and run also, I understand that. I know after stream care can take quite a bit, but if you're going to be around, I would love to hear more about your design and what kind of goes into it. Let's see. Who was speaking here? Piglet stepped back nervously and looked around for help.
Here's Rabbit.
He said gladly.
Hello, Rabbit.
Rabbit came up importantly, nodded to Piglet, and said, "Ah, Eeyore," in the voice of one who would be saying goodbye in about 2 more minutes. "There's one thing I wanted to ask you, Eeyore. What happens to Christopher Robin in the mornings nowadays?"
What is this that I'm looking at?
said Eeyore, still looking at the A made of sticks. I got it in one. Kitsune was turned into an angel is the full explanation. Ooh, very cool, Wilbo. No worries. Tuliki, pronounced, and you're also glad to be called Tuli. Well, absolutely, Tuli. Thank you for helping me with the pronunciation on your name. And so Tuliki, or Tuli, I'll have to try and remember that, and if I get it wrong in the future, please let me know again, because I very much would like to give you the name that you've told me you want. Over and over again about the same thing, over and over again. Oh, but you think she's leaving? Oh man, she's leaving, and you don't know what else to do? Well, if she's leaving, make sure that she has everything she needs, and that she'll be happy when she comes back. It's important to make sure that everybody is prepared for their journeys, whether they'll be with you or not, and do your best to make a welcoming place for them one way or the other. At least that's my goal. 3 sticks, said Rabbit promptly.
You see,
said Eeyore to Piglet. He turned to Rabbit.
I will now answer your question,
he said solemnly. Thank you, said Rabbit.
What does Christopher Robin do in the mornings? He learns. He becomes educated. He instaurates. I think that's the word he mentioned, but I may be referring to something else. He instigates knowledge. In my small way, I also, if I have the word right, am doing what he does. That, for instance, is
An A, said Rabbit, but not a very good one. Well, I must get back and tell the others. Eeyore looked at his sticks, and then he looked at Piglet's. Gasp, you think you realized the story's plot twist? Christopher Robin is an alien? That's an interesting hypothesis, and I'm curious where the story will go relative to that. Of course. Also, thank you kindly for doing so. Yep. You have nothing to worry about. Lurking and enjoying your time here is totally acceptable. In fact, with the way that I stream and the times that I stream, I kind of expect that people will use this stream as a bit of a bedtime story. Something to relax and maybe even fall asleep to, because it's a comfortable, warm, happy time. So you are doing absolutely nothing wrong if you lurk. You're doing absolutely nothing wrong if you speak. I am happy to see everybody. I'm always happy to know that people are enjoying themselves and possibly even just being able to relax. So, whatever vibes you need, I hope that you find them here. Let's see here. Oh my goodness, where was I? Eeyore looked at his sticks, and then he looked at Piglet.
What did Rabbit say it was?
An A.
Replied Piglet.
Did you tell him?
No, Eeyore, I didn't. I expect he just knew.
He knew? You mean this A thing is a thing that Rabbit knew?
Yes, Eeyore. He's clever, Rabbit is.
Clever,
said Eeyore scornfully, putting a foot heavy on his 3 sticks.
Education,
said Eeyore bitterly, jumping on his 6 sticks.
What is learning?
Asked Eeyore as he kicked his 12 sticks into the air.
A thing Rabbit knows. Ha!
I think...
began Piglet nervously.
Don't,
said Eeyore.
I think violets are rather nice,
said Piglet, and he laid his bunch in front of Eeyore and scampered off. Next morning, the notice on Christopher Robin's door said, "Gone out. Back soon. CR." Which is why all the animals in the forest, except of course the spotted and herbaceous Baxen, now know what Christopher Robin does in the mornings. Oh my goodness. I didn't expect them to have a properly spelled version available here at the end of the chapter. Now that was a bit of a plot twist. And it's also really cool to see Christopher Robin learning these new things. I think, no, thinking bad, very much so. That is so indicative of just kind of where Eeyore's mind and mood are going. Well, thank you very much for the compliments. I really appreciate them, Zuli. That's very kind of you. I think we've got time for at least one more chapter here. So, let's dive into chapter 6, in which Pooh invents a new game and Eeyore joins in. By the time it came to the edge of the forest, the stream had grown up so that it was almost a river, and, being grown up, it did not run and jump and sparkle along as it used to when it was younger, but moved more slowly, for it knew now where it was going, and it said to itself, "There's no hurry. We shall get there someday." But all the little streams higher up in the forest went this way and that, quickly, eagerly, having so much to find out before it was too late. Then there was a broad track, almost as broad as a road, leading from the outlands to the forest. But before it could come to the forest, it had to cross the river. So where it crossed, there was a wooden bridge, almost as broad as a road, with wooden rails on each side of it. Uh-oh. Squats, plank, and hydrate all over the course of a single minute. Treeblood, welcome in. It's good to see you. Oh, and stretchies. Oh my goodness, you're using all the points here. Alright, I can get some good stretchies in. Alright, the stretchies complete. Squats, plank, and hydrate. Okay, this is gonna take a minute. Well, that's alright. Oh. And while we're at it, Treeblood, could you shout out Treeblood for me here, please? You here to cause chaos? Well, I'd say you've certainly managed something to that effect. Alright, squats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Alright, and then a plank and a hydrate. Let's get the timer set here for that that plank. Assuming I can get something that will actually let me. Oh my goodness, my phone just decided it was going to turn off instead. Well, that won't be much of a timer. You're not going to give a shout out to yourself? Then I will shout you out myself. So if you're not already familiar with Treeblood, my love, he is also a streamer. He and I had been doing an Ace Attorney stream most recently. Well, I guess we also played Pokemon Unite on my channel here, over the weekend. So, go check him out. He is very fun. Hello, Key Energy. Welcome in. Bonjour. Good to see you. Alright, so squats are done. And a minute of planking. So let me remember where my apps are so I can get the timer going. 5 minutes. Oh my goodness. No. Doing a 5-minute plank. That will tear me apart. You must be off for the night. Alright, Wilbo. Thank you again for the raid. You please have a wonderful night. It was good to see you. You think Twitch doesn't let you shout yourself out? Well, why don't you try shouting yourself out, Necromancer? We'll have to give it a go sometime. Alright. So, 1 minute of plank. And while I'm planking, I usually sing something just to pass the time, so nice seeing you as well. Have a nice night. Oh, thank you, Wilbo. So, we'll just pause the music for a moment here. And a minute of planking. Oh, a drop of Nelson's blood wouldn't do us any harm. A drop of Nelson's blood wouldn't do us any harm. A drop of Nelson's blood wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind. And we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. And we'll all hang on behind. Well, another book for stream wouldn't do us any harm. Another book for stream wouldn't do us any harm. Another book for stream wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all have story time. And we'll read and roll, streaming right along. Oh, there we go. That seems to be our minute there. Bye, Wilbo. Farewell. Have a nice time zone and take care. Absolutely. Hope you had a wonderful stream, Wilbo, and it'll be good to see you next time as well. Alright, and while I am getting back up here for my hydrate, I have just run out of water before Tree redeemed that, so I am going to have to take just a moment to grab some water. I will be back in a few seconds. Thank you all very much for your patience with me, and I'll be returning in just a moment. And there we go. Hydration complete. Let's bring the music volume back down a bit here, and I think that should be about good. Alright, properly hydrated, well worked out. We are ready to return to the 100-acre wood. So where it crossed, there was a wooden bridge, almost as broad as a road, with wooden rails on each side of it. Christopher Robin could just get his chin up to the top rail if he wanted to, but it was more fun to stand on the bottom rail so that he could lean right over and watch the river slipping slowly beneath him. Winnie the Pooh, ever wonder why a bear needs a shirt? Not you? Woo! Welcome back. Aw, thank you for the return welcomes. I really appreciate it. Pooh could get his chin on the bottom rail if he wanted to, but it was more fun to lie down and get his head under it and watch the river slipping slowly away beneath him. And this was the only way in which Piglet and Roo could watch the river at all, because they were too small to reach the bottom rail. So they would lie down and watch it, and it slipped away very slowly, being in no hurry to get there. One day, when Pooh was walking toward this bridge, he was trying to make up a piece of poetry about fir cones, because there they were, lying about on each side of him, and he felt stingy. So he picked up a fir cone, looked at it, and said to himself,
This is a very good fir cone, and come to think, and something ought to rhyme with it.
but he couldn't think of anything, and then this came into his head suddenly. Be right back? Alright, see you soon, as.
Here is a mystery about little fir tree. Owl says it's his tree, and Kanga says it's her tree. Which doesn't make sense, because Kanga doesn't live in a tree.
He had just come to the bridge, and not looking where he was going, he tripped over something, and the fir cone jerked out of his paw into the river.
Bother,
said Pooh as it slowly floated under the bridge, and he went back to get another fir cone, which had a rhyme to it. But then he thought that he would just look at the river instead, because it was a peaceful sort of day, so he lay down and looked at it, and it slipped slowly away beneath him. And suddenly, there was his fir cone slipping away too. You always like to give people welcomes back? Oh, wonderful. That's a very kind thing for you to do, and I hope you continue doing it.
That's funny. I dropped it on the other side, and it came out this side. I wonder if it would do it again.
And Pooh went back for more fir cones. It did. It kept on doing it. Then he dropped two in at once and leant over the bridge to see which of them would come out first, and one of them did. But as they were both the same size, he didn't know if it was the one he wanted to win or the other one. So the next time he dropped the big one, and he dropped one big one and one little one, and the big one came out first, which is what he had said it would do, and the little one came out last, which is what he had said it would do, so he had won twice. And when he went home for tea, he had won 36 and lost 28, which meant that he had, well, you take away 28 from 36, and that's what he was, instead of the other way around. And that was the beginning of the game called Pooh Sticks, which Pooh invented, and which he and his friends used to play on the edge of the forest. But they played with sticks instead of fir cones because it was easier to mark. Now one day, Pooh and Piglet and Rabbit and Roo were all playing Pooh Sticks together. They had dropped their sticks in when Rabbit said, "Go!" And when they had hurried across the other side of the bridge, and now were all leaning over the edge, waiting to see whose stick would come out first. But it was a long time coming, because the river was lazy that day, and hardly seemed to mind if it didn't ever get there at all. "I can see mine," said Roo. "No, I can't. It's something else. Can you see yours, Piglet? I thought I could see mine, but I couldn't. There it is. No, it isn't. Can you see yours, Pooh?" "No," said Pooh. "I expect my stick stuck. Rabbit, my stick stuck. Is your stick stuck, Piglet?"
They always take longer than you think.
"Oh, they always take longer than you think," said Rabbit. "How long do you think they'll take?" asked Roo.
I can see yours, Piglet,
said Pooh suddenly.
Mine's sort of a grayish one,
said Piglet, not daring to lean too far over in case he fell in.
Yes, that's what I can see. It's coming over to on my side.
Excuse me. You love Pooh, but wish you'd stop naming things like Pooh sticks. Aw, but that's part of the fun of being Pooh, is everything is Pooh. And indeed, I hope you enjoy the warmth and the kindness here, Tuli. It's important. Rabbit leaned over further than ever, looking for his, and Roo wriggled up and down, calling out, "Come on, stick! Stick, stick, stick!" And Piglet got very excited, because his was the only one which had been seen, and that meant he was winning. "It's coming," said Pooh.
Are you sure it's mine?
Said Piglet excitedly.
Yes, because it's gray. A big gray one. Here it comes. A very big gray. Oh, no it isn't. It's Eeyore.
And out floated Eeyore. "Eeyore!" cried everybody. Looking very calm, very dignified, with his legs in the air, came Eeyore beneath the bridge. "It's Eeyore!" cried Roo, terribly excited.
Is that so?
Said Eeyore, getting caught up by a little eddy and turning slowly round 3 times.
I wondered.
"I didn't know you were playing," said Roo.
I'm not.
"Eeyore, what are you doing there?" said Rabbit.
I'll give you 3 guesses, Rabbit. Digging holes in the ground? Wrong. Leaping from branch to branch of a young oak tree? Wrong. Waiting for somebody to help me out of the river? Right. Give Rabbit time and he'll always get the answer.
But excuse me. It's been too long. I'm forgetting how to hydrate.
But Eeyore,
said Pooh in distress.
what can we... how shall we... Do you think if we... Yes, one of those would be just the thing. Thank you, Pooh.
"He's going round and round," said Roo, much impressed.
And why not?
Said Eeyore coldly. "I can swim too," said Roo proudly.
Not round and round.
Said Eeyore.
It's much more difficult. I didn't want to come swimming at all today.
He went on, revolving slowly.
But when in, I decide to practice a slight circular movement from left to right. Or perhaps I should say,
He added as he got into another eddy.
from left to right, just as it happens to occur to me. It is nobody's business but my own.
Hydration complete. Thank you for making it Twitch legal, Necromancer. I appreciate it. You heard if I hydrate without the command, Twitch sends a guy to my home to slap the drink out of my hand? Well, Twitch hasn't sent a guy so far, but I wonder which guy Twitch would send if it were going to send a guy. Maybe I need to drink more. There was a moment's silence while everybody thought.
I've got a sort of idea,
Said Pooh at last.
but I don't suppose it's a very good one. I don't suppose it is either,
Said Eeyore. Wow, Eeyore just really ripping into Pooh tonight. Go on, Pooh, let's have it.
Well, if we all threw stones and things into the river on one side of Eeyore, the stones would make waves, and the waves would wash him to the other side.
That's a very good idea, said Rabbit, and Pooh looked happy again.
Very. When I want to be washed, Pooh, I'll let you know.
Supposing we hit him by mistake?
said Piglet anxiously.
Or supposing you missed him by mistake.
Said Eeyore.
Think of all the possibilities, Piglet, before you settle down to enjoy yourselves.
Eeyore has sass to him. He really does. Oh my goodness. Morning, Carl. Thank you for joining us. It's good to see you. Welcome in. I hope your day is starting off well. But Pooh had got the biggest stone he could carry and was leaning over the bridge, holding it in his paws.
I'm not throwing it, I'm dropping it, Eeyore,
he explained.
and then I can't miss. I can't hit you. Could you stop turning around for a moment, because it muddles me rather? No, I like turning round.
Rabbit began to feel that it was time he took command. Now, Pooh! When I say now, you can drop it. Eeyore, when I say now, Pooh will drop his stone.
Thank you very much, Rabbit, but I expect I shall know.
Are you ready, Pooh? Piglet, give Pooh a little more room. Get back in there, Roo. Are you ready?
No.
Now! Pooh dropped his stone. There was a loud splash, and Eeyore disappeared. You finally catch Dream only because you were up early to go to the store? Oh, you got a free cattle out of it. How nice. It was an anxious moment for the watchers on the bridge. They looked and looked, and even the sight of Piglet's stick coming out a little in front of Rabbit's didn't cheer them up as much as you would have expected. And then, just as Pooh was beginning to think he must have chosen the wrong stone, or the wrong river, or the wrong day for his idea, something very gray showed for a moment by the riverbank, and it slowly got bigger and bigger, and at last it was Eeyore coming out. With a shout, they rushed off the bridge and pushed and pulled at him, and soon he was standing among them, again on dry land.
Oh, Eeyore, you are wet,
said Piglet, feeling him. Eeyore shook himself and asked somebody to explain to Piglet what happened when you had been inside a river for quite a long time. Well done, Pooh, said Rabbit kindly. That was a good idea of ours.
What was?
Whooshing you to the bank like that.
Whooshing me? Whooshing me? You didn't think I was whooshed, did you? I dived. Pooh dropped a large stone on me, and so as not to be struck heavily on the chest, I dived and swam to the bank.
You didn't really,
whispered Piglet to Pooh, so as to comfort him.
I didn't think I did, said Pooh anxiously.
It's just Eeyore. I thought your idea was a very good idea.
The store doesn't open for another hour. Waking up early to have breakfast. And yes, public domain Winnie the Pooh reading. Yay! Oh, it's all fun. Pooh began to feel a little more comfortable, because when you are a bear of very little brain and you think things, you find sometimes that a thing which seemed very thingish inside you is quite different when it gets out in the open and has other people looking at it. And anyhow, Eeyore was in the river, and now he wasn't, so he hadn't done any harm. How did you fall in, Eeyore? Asked Rabbit as he dried him with Piglet's handkerchief.
I didn't.
But how?
I was bounced.
Ooh, did somebody push you?
Somebody bounced me. I was just thinking by the side of the river, thinking, if any of you know what that means, when I received a loud bounce.
Oh, Eeyore, said everybody. Are you sure you didn't slip? Asked Rabbit wisely.
Of course I slipped. If you're standing on the slippery bank of a river and somebody bounces you loudly from behind, you slip. What did you think I did?
And Eeyore is having none of it today. He got pushed in a river without any expectation of being in a river today. Can you blame him? But who did it? Asked Rue. Eeyore didn't answer,
I expect it was Tigger.
said Piglet nervously.
But Eeyore, was it a joke or an accident? I mean, I didn't stop to ask who. Even at the very bottom of the river, I didn't stop to say to myself, is this a hearty joke or the merest accident? I just floated to the surface and said to myself, it's wet, if you know what I mean.
And where was Tigger? Asked Rabbit. Before Eeyore could answer, there was a loud noise behind them, and through the hedge came Tigger himself. Hello, everybody, said Tigger cheerfully. Hello, Tigger, said Rue. Rabbit became very important suddenly. Tigger, what happened just now? Just when? Asked Tigger a little uncomfortably. When you bounced Eeyore into the river. I didn't bounce him.
You bounced me.
I didn't really. I had a cough, and I happened to be behind Eeyore, and I said, girl, for sure. Why? Said Rabbit, helping Piglet up and dusting him. It's all right, Piglet,
It took me by surprise.
said Piglet nervously.
That's what I call bouncing. Taking people by surprise. Very unpleasant habit. I don't mind Tigger being in the forest, because it's a large forest, and there's plenty of room to bounce in it. But I don't see why he should come into my little corner of it and bounce there. It isn't as if there was anything very wonderful about my little corner.
Oh my goodness. Lurk, you're sorry. Oh, no need to apologize. You are more than welcome to Lurk, and I hope you have a wonderful time all the same. Necromancer's on Eeyore's side here. Get him, big guy. Oh my.
Of course, for people who like cold, wet, ugly bits, it is something rather special. But otherwise, it's just a corner. And if anybody feels bouncy...
I didn't bounce. I coughed, said Tigger crossly.
Bouncy or coffee, it's all the same at the bottom of the river.
Well, all I can say is... Well, here's Christopher Robin, so he can say it. Christopher Robin came down the forest to the bridge, feeling all sunny and careless, and just as if twice 19 didn't matter a bit, as it didn't on such a happy afternoon. And he thought that if he stood on the bottom rail of the bridge and leant over and watched the river slipping slowly away beneath him, then he would suddenly know everything there was to be known, and he would be able to tell Pooh, who wasn't quite sure about some of it. But when he got to the bridge and saw all the animals there, then he knew that it wasn't the kind of afternoon, but the other kind, when you wanted to do something. It's like this, Christopher Robin, began Rabbit. Tigger? No, I didn't. Well, anyhow.
Well, anyhow, there I was.
But I don't think he meant to.
He is just bouncy, and he can't help it.
Try bouncing me, Tigger. Let's see here.
Eeyore, Tigger's going to try me.
Tigger's gonna try me. Piglet, do you think? Yes, we don't all want to speak at once. The point is, what does Christopher Robin think about it? All I did was coughed.
He bounced.
Well, I sort of boffed. Hush! What does Christopher Robin think about it all? That's the point. The streamer parent is reading Winnie the Pooh to kids and very much hate Eeyore because he thinks his self-pity with the worst people on the internet? Oh my goodness! Oh, that seems so rough. Eeyore's having a hard time and feeling a little cross. I think we all feel a little cross when we're wet and feeling bounced upon and really just want some of our space. If you want to share a clip of that discussion in the Discord server, feel free to, Carl. You go ahead and put it under cool stuff and I'll get a look at it when I get a moment. Well, said Christopher Robin, not quite sure what it was all about.
I think
Yes, said everybody.
we all ought to play Pooh Sticks.
So they did, and Eeyore, who had never played it before, won more times than anybody else, and Roo fell in twice, the first time by accident, the second time on purpose, because he suddenly saw Kanga coming from the forest, and he knew he'd have to go to bed anyhow. So then Rabbit said he'd go with them, and Tigger and Eeyore went off together, because Eeyore wanted to tell Tigger how to win at Pooh Sticks, which you do by letting your stick drop in a twitchy sort of way, if you understand what I mean. Tigger and Christopher Robin and Pooh and Piglet were left on the bridge by themselves. Jail for Tigger? Oh my goodness, Necromancer. No, not jail for Tigger, just more space so that Tigger can bounce. For a long time they looked at the river beneath them, saying nothing. And the river said nothing too, for it felt very quiet and peaceful on this summer afternoon.
Tigger is alright, really.
Said Piglet lazily.
Of course he is,
Said Christopher Robin.
Everybody is really. That's what I think.
Said Pooh.
But I don't suppose I'm right.
Of course you are.
Said Christopher Robin. And with that, we come to the end of chapter 6. Oh, I'm so glad we got to do the Pooh Sticks chapter here tonight. Pooh Sticks is a game that I used to play with my grandfather and one of my siblings way, way back a long time ago. I was quite young, and my grandfather took us out to this bridge that he was familiar with, and we took turns first using sticks, but then Grandpa got a little bit of a stray hair, and he helped us make these little boats that we could put into the water, and we'd get to race our boats down the stream. Now, they were silly things, just little pieces of wood with a stick poking out of them, but they were something that I really enjoyed, and getting to read the actual story where Pooh Sticks is described, it's just as charming as I remembered. But it reminds me of those summer days spent on the river, just going back and forth and collecting our little boats, picking them up to drop in again until finally allowing them to flow out along the river and into the ocean eventually. Or so we thought. I strongly doubt they ever made it quite that far, but the silly little things. Alright, the time has come for us to go ahead and start moving on with our evening. Tigger wasn't introduced until the second book. This is true. We didn't see Tigger in the first book, but we've gotten to see him at the start of the second book, and we now have both parts 1 and 2 available on YouTube, so if you didn't get a chance to see this on the night it was streamed, you can go back and catch the video there. Thank you very much to everybody who joined in. A big thank you once again to Wilbo Waffles for the raid. It was lovely to have you share your community with us. You turned rocks around and looked for cool bugs as a kid during summer. You know, that sounds like a fun time too. There were a lot of really cool bugs out there. And so, with that, let's see what we can find for a raid target. So, let's just poke a couple buttons here, and we will be able to find folks who we can raid. You also did that, but on accident? Which did you do on accident, Carl? So a lot of oval-shaped bugs. Ooh, very cool. Alright. Let's see, how do I make this stay on top? There we go. Boom. Now I can actually read chat as I go out looking for somebody else to raid. Ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Let's see. You were flipping rocks for different reasons. Well, what were you trying to do there, Carl? I'm quite curious what your rock flipping turned up, other than rocks, which, you know, could pretty clearly be turned up when you're turning up rocks. Let's see. I think. Let's see if we can find somebody a little more familiar to me. Finding ant colonies was Necromancer's favorite. They'd be gone completely within an hour, so you had to enjoy them while they lasted. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize your anthills would empty out so quickly. Though I suppose I haven't exactly poked a lot of ant colonies, at least not on purpose. Oh, you know what? I wonder if if they're still going. You mainly helped your mom with doing the garden during spring and you needed the corner rocks removed? Oh, that's totally fair, Carl. Let's see here. So, it doesn't look like she is doing anything there.
So yes, back to the story. So remember
Oh, okay, G's telling a story. So, we are going to raid out to G to the next level, who has been doing a Growing Up Genesis series for a very long time, and is doing an awards show tonight. So, we'll find out very quickly if we're accidentally raiding into somebody who is preparing to wrap up. But in the meanwhile, I'm glad you've joined our stream today. Stream here ends the stream here, but it's time to go our separate ways. Yes, it's time to end the stream here. Stream here ends the stream here. Oh, stream here ends the stream here. For the software's scuffed and the bit rate's low, and it's time to end the stream here. Until next time, I'll be waiting.